I think it's clear and obvious for everyone watching this hearing today that Hunter Biden is terrified of strong, conservative Republican women because he can't even face my words as I was about to speak to him. What a coward.
So it all got very entertaining, as you can see. Marjorie calling him a coward. It didn't stop there. Hunter was berated in the hallway by the media. Take a look.
I sought to use, would you please, I'll answer your question, be quiet and let me make a statement. What kind of crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden? Let me start again.
So yeah, it went down that road really quick. And with that, Hunter Biden was gone. The end of a stunt that started outside the Capitol last fall. Inside, the debate continued after Hunter left, though, as Congressman Pat Fallon and Byron Donalds eviscerated Hunter Biden's attempt to position himself as some kind of champion of transparent truth. That's the gaslight they're feeding to us all now, explaining why Hunter is dodging a closed-door deposition in reality.
When you are deposed in Congress, the majority gets an hour and the minority gets an hour, and it can go on indefinitely. So what usually happens is you can get 100 hours of questions in. If we have just public testimony, what happens here is we all get 5 minutes.
There is never any proceeding that takes place without a deposition of the witness. The reason why is because if something comes up in the round of questioning, either A, members of this committee may not be prepared because they don't have all the information from the witness. So you need the deposition process before you bring a witness into open hearing. This happens all the time. This is actually the protocol of the House.
And with that, you see what's really going on here. That's what they're really trying to pull. All of this charade is about that. They know Hunter Biden can't sit for a deposition with skilled attorneys that have the full, I mean, there is mountains of evidence of this corrupt scheme. It's very obvious, but there's also just tons of evidence that go with it. And to be able to pin him down, you need a deposition. You can't have some, congressman or congresswoman up there who's got 5 minutes and all the distractions. He can weasel out of that. They need the deposition. And just a reminder, the White House has admitted Joe Biden was informed of and likely coordinated his son's defiance of these congressional subpoenas. Here is what Joe Biden said about Trump staffers who defied the hyper-partisan J6 committee subpoenas just a couple years ago.
What's your message to people who defied congressional subpoenas on the January 6th committee?
I hope that the committee goes after them and holds them accountable.
Should they be prosecuted by the
I
Justice
do,
Department?
yes.
Oh, they should be criminally prosecuted. Pretty harsh considering the J6 committee was legitimately a sham committee. Nancy Pelosi pulling a move never seen before, not allowing Republicans to place their own members on the committee, instead installing her own fake Republican pawns, who you see behind me, turning the J6 investigation into a Soviet-style kangaroo court, a one-sided congressional investigation, which is what it was, and which gave people like Peter Navarro, who we're going to speak with tomorrow night, and also Steve Bannon, more than enough justification to respond to their congressional subpoena with a middle finger, like they did. And with the evidence of Hunter and Joe Biden's guilt overwhelming, and the American public overwhelmingly believing Joe Biden was aware of his son's scheme, or the family scheme, to make millions of dollars selling Joe Biden's power, the new move by Democrats, very desperate, is to try and at least paint Trump as equally as corrupt as Joe Biden.
Read this report and come back and tell me if you think Donald Trump did the right thing in converting the White House into a for-profit operation. No other president in American history has come anywhere close.
There's nobody sleazier on this planet than that guy right there, Jamie Raskin. Oh, my God. Quite a moral equivalency there. Donald Trump owned hotels and then became president, and then donated the profits from those hotels to the Treasury to avoid any possible appearance of influence peddling whatsoever. He went the extra mile, so there couldn't be any possible appearance of influence peddling. Joe Biden has been a leech off the public system for 50 years and sent his son out to sell his power for millions of dollars, and they're trying to create an equivalency there. Good luck.